Okay, so we've got to the stage now with your driving, yeah, where hopefully next week you're going to be ready for test, yeah? And we need to look at doing everything more precisely and more accurately, to a higher standard, yeah? What's obvious when you're driving is sometimes you're seeing things late, you're not looking far enough, yeah? And you're guilty of what I call dot-to-dot thinking. And what I mean is this, right? If you give a child a puzzle book, right? And you ask the child to connect the dots, yeah? What the child will do is this. To make a face, yeah? But as an adult, I would expect you to see the bigger picture. I would expect that when you see the puzzle book, you realise, that looks like a face, yeah? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to join all the dots like that. Yeah? That's how I'm going to join the dots. You round everything off. You smooth everything out, yeah? But what happens sometimes, when some people are driving, they're guilty of what I call dot-to-dot thinking. So, the bus is here, yeah? You have a parked car here. You have a zebra crossing here. You may have another parked car here. And then you've got a corner there, yeah? Now, the thing to understand is what makes a good driver is quite a complicated thing, yeah? If you ask people if you ask a lot of people, are you a good driver? People will say, yes, I'm a good driver, yeah? And if you ask people what is a good driver, they'll say, oh, somebody who's very smooth, somebody who's very careful. Yeah, well, we can all be smooth and careful. It doesn't make us good, it doesn't make us great, yeah? What makes a good driver or a great driver is the ability to, number one, see the whole picture, see everything at the same time, then realise that things are going to change. So what you see at the moment could change. So you've got to have a plan. If it changes, what am I going to do, yeah? But that's not just for one thing at a time, that's for everything. When we look at the road, yeah, you have to be able to prioritise. So for example here, going along here, obviously the first priority is going to be the crossing, yeah? It's dealing with things within what we call the near field, from here to where that bus is, yeah? Maybe a child's going to walk across the road, maybe anything could happen, yeah? So you're dealing with the near field. But at the same time, you can't forget about what's happening where the bus is now. That's called the midfield, yeah? Because you may have a traffic light there, you may have anything going on there, yeah? And beyond that, as we look further past the red lorry, we've got the far field. Now it's obvious to me when you're driving, you're looking at the near field and you're looking as far as the midfield. But when you're concentrating on the near field and the midfield, you're not seeing the far field. You're not seeing the silver car coming out from behind the lorry, yeah? So try this little experiment, yeah? Put your hand in front of your face about 2 feet away and look at your finger, yeah? If you look at the finger, everything's blurred, yeah? Now look behind the red lorry. When you bring your finger in front of your hand, in your front of your face, you can still see your finger. It makes sense to keep your eyes as far as you can down the road, yeah? All the way to where that bus is, all the way up there, and then deal with things here, closer in your peripheral vision. Like you see your finger when you wave it in front of your face, if you're looking at the end there, you'll see things in your peripheral vision. That is one of the main differences between learner drivers and experienced drivers. Experienced drivers can look much further and deal with things in their peripheral vision. For example, when you're coming into a bus stop, the bus stop doesn't move, yeah? The actual flight doesn't have legs, it doesn't run away. But what you tend to find is learners, when they're coming in, they're staring at the bus stop. They keep looking at the bus stop like the bus stop's going to run away, yeah? It's not. The bus stop is fixed, so you deal with it in your peripheral vision. What's more dangerous is the people on the right-hand side of the road that may run across the road. They want to get on your bus, yeah? From over there, in your blind spot, they may run across, yeah? Or vehicles like that overtaking you, that might cut in, yeah? That's more of a danger. The bus stop we deal with in our peripheral vision. So as well as using our peripheral vision, as well as keeping our eyes up the road, we have to do what we call hold things in suspense. So by holding something in suspense, what I mean is, you're driving along here, and you see, at the zebra crossing, somebody coming near the crossing. Yeah. Now, the Japanese made an art format of fighting. Yeah. When it came to combat, the Japanese, the psychology and the techniques that they used in karate and judo, it's just amazing. Yeah. They developed something called Mai. Mai is what we call fighting range. So imagine if you're in a fight, right, and somebody's standing on the other side of the road, they can't hit you. They're too far away. You see them, you think about them, you keep them, what we hold it in suspense, yeah? But he's not yet in a position where he can hit you. In the same way, if you see somebody near that zebra crossing and you're here, you see the two girls walking, yeah? You keep them in suspense, but they're not within my eye. They're not within fighting range, yeah? When you get up there past the taxi, where the taxi is maybe... Now they're within striking range. Now that they become they're that close, they become a danger to you. So now you're going to ease off the gas and you're going to check what are they doing. The problem sometimes when you're driving is you're seeing things up there, it's not within fighting range, and you're coming off the gas here. Why? Why not just keep up until it gets to the point where you have to do something about it? But don't forget about it. Keep it in suspense. And this is another skill that drivers have to have. They have to be able to see lots of things. That man on the road there, he may run across. The girl's up by the zebra crossing. The taxi may reverse out. The red van parked up there. You've got to prioritise what's the main thing. But you can't forget anything. You have to be able to hold it in suspense. Yeah? Imagine you're juggling. Yeah, you've got 6 balls, right? When we're driving, you've got brakes, you've got steering, you've got gas, you've got mirrors, you've got planning. Yeah, you have to be able to juggle those 5 different balls. Yeah, juggling them all at the same time. Now, as far as the planning side is concerned, you've got to keep juggling as well. You've got to keep juggling, right? What's the learner doing? What's the man on the right doing? What's the kid on the left doing? Is she going to come and cross, yeah? What's behind me? What's up behind that red van, red lorry? You've got to keep juggling all these things, but you can't drop any of them, yeah? And what's obvious sometimes when you watch learners driving, is they drop one thing. So they'll be prioritising this girl here, the crossing. They may not see the man walking across the road on the right. They come up to the red lorry, they're prioritising the red lorry, they don't see the black taxi that's reversing outside the school, yeah? And the reason that happens, I'll tell you why. Number one, it's a lack of experienced eyes. With experience, what we do is we soften our vision so we see everything, yeah? We don't stare, because staring, the reason that we stare sometimes is because of stress, yeah? When we're stressed out, when we're uptight, we tend to stare. And what staring does is it gives us tunnel vision, but that's no good for us. What we want is we want to have a soft view, like soften our view, soften our gaze, so that we see the whole picture, yeah? So you're not just seeing the red lorry, you're not just seeing the dust cart pulling out, you're seeing the black car coming from behind the red lorry, yeah? You've got to have that depth of vision where your eyes see the whole picture and you soften your gaze so you see everything, yeah? That's why I said to you, don't stare into the left mirror, just snap, snap. Whenever we check our mirrors, just quickly, because the mirror checks are confirmation checks. It's important to understand we don't use the mirrors to position the bus, yeah? What we do is we position the bus using our peripheral vision and our driving sense, yeah? We just check our mirrors to make sure everything's okay, yeah? Is it okay? Is it okay, yeah? But we never look in the mirror to position the bus, yeah? Let me ask you a question. If we took the mirrors off your car, can you drive your car?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. You shouldn't, but you can, yeah?
Yeah.
It's the same way with the bus. If we take the mirrors off the bus, you should be able to drive the bus. Not that you ever should, because it's very dangerous, yeah? But you should have that sense of how big the bus is, where to put the bus in the road, yeah? And then you just check with your mirrors. Check, check, yeah? Now the worry is, when you did that, you went over the white lines, yeah?
Yeah.
Coming across the A30 in Hounslow, we had a nice wide lane to turn left, but you let the bus go over the white line towards the blue van. Yeah. Coming up to the top of that bridge,
Yeah.
we had a nice wide lane. You let the bus go over the white line. So why is that happening? Yeah, discipline. You need to be a bit more precise. Yeah, trade your speed for your position. Yeah, when you're driving along, trade your speed for your position. But at the same time, when you're in an acceleration zone, don't get left behind. Because I think what happens sometimes when you're in a queue of traffic, you're not seeing that up there where the red lorry is, the traffic's moving, it's going. and the traffic in front of you is going to go too, because there's nothing there that's going to make them slow down. The road's opening up, yeah? But you're a bit late to get going. So in an acceleration zone, I would say keep up. In the braking zone, keep back, yeah? Sometimes I can see that when you're driving, you're a little bit unsure of what to do, yeah? But that's because mentally you're a little bit behind. This bus is like a really strong dog, yeah? If you take the dog for a walk, the dog's going to maybe bark at somebody, maybe try and jump on somebody, yeah? Maybe even bite somebody, yeah? You've got to have a really strong grip on its lead, yeah? Or even grab it by the collar. And what's happening is, at the moment, mentally, the dog is going into a situation and you haven't looked to see what that dog is going to try and bite, yeah? Or what that dog, the dog has seen something and it's attracted its attention, and the dog's thinking, I'm going to bite him, yeah? But you haven't seen that. The dog mentally is ahead of you. You have to be mentally ahead of the dog, yeah? And at the moment, sometimes you're not, yeah? A lot of psychology there, yeah? So think about that. So just have a look at this diagram now. So we've got the situation where we've got a car door here, yeah? Now you're driving along, you get your position, yeah? The car door may open. Okay, fine. While that car door opens, your priority now is not the car door. It's the zebra crossing, yeah? Because you may have somebody who wants to cross the road. So what you do is, you see the car door, you deal with it in your peripheral vision now. Now, I'm not interested in the car door anymore. I'm interested in here, the two zones around the crossing, yeah? So I'm off the gas, and I'm looking for the person who's going to cross. As I pass the car door, I'll check the mirror. I'll check the mirror to make sure everything's okay. But I'm looking here, and I'm looking here, yeah? While I'm doing this, I can't forget about the car that's coming here, yeah? I have to be able to see this and see that at the same time. Because now, if I go through this crossing and I don't see this developing, I'm going to go through the crossing and I'm going to have to jump on the brakes because he's coming around, yeah? So see this, see that, and see that, yeah? And as I get around here, there may be somebody crossing the road from here that I haven't seen. So I can't let this car distract me. I've also got to be thinking about this corner. And that's what can happen sometimes. As a learner driver, you can get distracted. You can spend too much time thinking on one thing and not looking for the next thing. But you should always be looking for the next thing. Yeah? Understand the psychology?
Right.
Yeah? It's about, as I said before, it's about holding things in suspense, and it's about prioritizing. Yeah? This is the difference between a good driver and a great driver. All these young dudes you see in their AMG Mercedes and their souped up Audis, yeah? They think they're great drivers. Oh man, they can do 100 miles an hour down the road, yeah? They cannot do this. They cannot see things developing. They cannot prioritize. They cannot hold things in suspense. They cannot see with their brain. And because of that, because they can't see with their brain, their own stupidity makes them believe that they're a better driver than they are. Because they're only dealing with what they can see. And compared to what they can see, they're great. But they're not dealing with what they cannot yet see. And that's what you have to do sometimes, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.